The internet is on fire, absolute chaos, because Skai Jackson has just been dragged into one of the wildest, most disturbing scandals we have seen in a long, long time. Out of nowhere, her baby daddy stormed online, threatening her, exposing her, and dropping claims that she has been secretly sneaking around with NBA YoungBoy. And when I say exposing, I mean he came with what he claimed were receipts, screenshots, messages, and bold accusations that sent social media into complete meltdown. Fans were left stunned. The timeline was flooded, the comment sections were war zones, and people were picking sides faster than anyone could blink. But here is where things get darker. Yerky was not just talking. He was making threats. Real threats. The kind that made people genuinely afraid for Skai's safety. So what exactly did Yerky say? And should Skai be getting a restraining order, again? Let's unpack this mess, piece by piece. When the world first found out who Skai Jackson was dating, people already knew this story would not end well. From the beginning, the man gave problematic energy. Fast forward to now, and the same man is allegedly threatening Skai for moving on with NBA YoungBoy. It seems the internet's first instincts were absolutely right. Just a few days ago, Skai posted a video from YoungBoy's concert. Nothing suspicious, right? But the internet caught something else. Photos surfaced of the two backstage, smiling, leaning close, and whatever that was, it did not look friendly. It looked flirty. Immediately, fans began connecting the dots, whispering that maybe, just maybe, this was their soft launch. And we all know Skai Jackson loves a subtle soft launch moment. But then things got messy, real messy. A blind item confirmed that the two were, in fact, secretly seeing each other, with one source brutally calling it a life filled with bad decisions. Hooking up with a rapper who has 10 kids at 25 might be her worst yet. Ouch. But the chaos did not stop there. Word on the street was that Yerky, yes, the same ex, completely lost it. He was furious. And not just petty ex-energy furious. The kind of furious that turns dangerous. Which, honestly, makes zero sense. They broke up months ago. He was not even at the birth of their child because he was locked up. And if that was not enough, Skai already had a restraining order against him, after he allegedly put hands on her while she was pregnant, and even told her to drink bleach. Let that sink in. This man is still behind bars, with legal problems piling up, and yet he somehow finds the time to threaten Skai from inside? It is almost surreal. But according to insiders, Yerky has been holding something dark over her, allegedly threatening to leak private things if she does not end her relationship with NBA YoungBoy. His twisted reason? He does not want another man around his son. As disgusting as that sounds, it would not be the first time Yerky humiliated Skai online. Remember when he went public, ranting, "I am salty, I got this dumb Disney Channel girl pregnant. I hate this?" That post exploded online, before Skai's team tried to clean it up, claiming his account was hacked. Her mother even jumped in, saying it was all fake. But Yerky was determined to prove them wrong, going live on Facebook just to say, "No, I was not hacked." From that moment, the world knew, this was not just celebrity drama. This was something darker. A pattern. And honestly, the red flags were waving from day one. Yerky was in prison when Skai met him. That alone was a warning sign. Reports even claimed he was jailed for attacking his first baby mama. Yet somehow, Skai found herself in the same toxic cycle. To make things even more disturbing, some old Hollywood blind items resurfaced, ones hinting that Skai's family may have allegedly pushed her into some shady industry dealings when she was still a teenager. One of them claimed, there are certain actors and actresses who could not wait to turn 18, but this former Disney star? She was already working behind the scenes by 15. Her family knew that was when the money was best. If that is true, it paints a devastating picture of how deep this rabbit hole goes. Their plan was to save it, to build something real from the fame and the money. But instead, they burned through it faster than they earned it. And maybe that was always the pattern, chaos disguised as love, money spent faster than peace could be found. That was the kind of life Skai had grown used to. Flashy, fast, and full of warning signs no one wanted to see. When she finally went public with Yerky, after months of subtle hints, soft launches, and cryptic posts, the internet exploded. But not with applause. Blind items started flooding in like a warning siren screaming through the noise. One read, this former Disney actress, who was passed around before she was even old enough to drive, is now dating a substance dealer with his hands in everything. This will not end well. And maybe she saw it. Maybe she heard it. But she ignored it, or worse, she chose to see the good in him. Either way, it was a decision that would cost her. Because it did not end well. Not even close. At one point, Skai was even arrested herself, accused of putting hands on him during one of their explosive arguments. Of course, they both brushed it off, claiming the media twisted everything, saying it was taken out of context. But everyone could see the cracks. Everyone could feel that tension simmering beneath the surface. For a while, things went quiet, almost too quiet. Until now. Because YoungBoy is back, and this time, he is threatening her to end things with NBA YoungBoy. And if history has taught us anything, silence never lasts long in this kind of story. It is only a matter of time before things spiral again, into something toxic, dangerous, and public. But here is the tragic twist: no matter what Skai does, she cannot escape the mess. There is no clean exit. If YoungBoy is bluffing, fine, but the damage is already done. The fear is there. The whispers are growing. And even without him, her new relationship with YoungBoy is not exactly built on peace. Let us be honest, NBA YoungBoy is not the poster child for stability. Married. 10 kids. 8 different women. He lives in a storm, and Skai just walked right into it. It is almost heartbreaking because we have seen this pattern before. Skai has always been drawn to men wrapped in red flags. She sees danger and calls it devotion. And if you have been following her story, you remember, this is not her first time being dragged into scandal territory. Remember 2021? The Jules Smith situation? Beyoncé's nephew? That was the scandal that changed everything. At first, it was innocent, 2 young stars navigating fame, a secret teenage romance behind the curtains of the internet. But when it ended with a bang that shook social media to its core. What started as a quiet breakup became a full-blown catastrophe. Rumors started circulating, whispers on Twitter, shady fanpage comments, people speculating that Skai and Jules had fallen out. But no one expected what came next. Because instead of staying silent, Jules went nuclear. He decided to humiliate her, publicly, deliberately. He did not post a song, or a vague story. No. He leaked everything. Intimate, private moments that were never meant to see the light of day. And when that video hit the internet, the world collectively gasped. It was short, but it said everything. It was not just exposure, it was destruction. In that one upload, Skai's reputation, her peace, and her sense of safety were ripped apart. This was not an accident. It was not a hack. It was vengeance, pure, calculated cruelty. Jules claimed she cheated. And instead of walking away, he wanted to hurt her. To make sure she felt that pain in the most public, irreversible way possible. It was so cold that people began to question, how broken do you have to be to do something like that to someone who once trusted you? The internet turned savage. Within hours, the clip was everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, spreading faster than it could be taken down. Some fans rushed to defend her, trying to report the content, while others dissected every frame like it was entertainment. It became a spectacle. A circus. But behind that digital frenzy was a girl humiliated on a global stage, her privacy weaponized, her pain turned into trending content. And the most chilling part? Jules never even apologized. Not once. He stood in the wreckage he created, and smiled. Instead of disappearing, or even showing the slightest hint of guilt, Jules did the unthinkable. He doubled down. He hopped online like nothing happened, cracking jokes, dropping smug comments, and bragging as if ruining someone's life was an achievement. He was not hiding. He was not ashamed. He was proud. And that was the most disturbing part of all. Then, the group chat leaks dropped. Screenshots flooded Twitter, messages where Jules and his friends laughed about what he had done, like it was a scene from some sick joke. In one message, he simply wrote, "She cheated." His friends replied in shock, one of them even typed, "I'm sorry you had sex with Skai," trying to make sense of the chaos. But Jules' reply? It was ice cold. "She cheated," he repeated. And yeah. Just like that, no remorse, no emotion. Like this was not a real human being he had just humiliated. Like her pain was nothing more than online entertainment. And then came the message that made the world stop breathing. "I made sure to ruin her life." He said it like a punchline. Like destroying someone's dignity was just a flex. He went on, "I slept with her, got her addicted, and left her. It's complicated." Those words became digital fire. They spread everywhere, screenshots dissected, reposted, analyzed, and immortalized by gossip blogs. The world could not believe that a 16-year-old had written something that cruel. 16. A child. Talking about revenge, addiction, and destruction like it was a storyline. And here is the part that cut the deepest: Skai was the victim. Her privacy violated, her body exposed, her career thrown into chaos, but the internet did what it always does: it twisted the story. It found a way to blame her. Instead of empathy, she got interrogation. People started calling her a predator. A manipulator. They said, why was a 19-year-old with a 16-year-old anyway? And just like that, the real crime, the revenge, the violation, was lost in the noise. Social media turned it into a debate, not about justice, not about accountability, but about who deserved what. The comments were split. Some said she was weird for dating younger. Others defended her, pointing out that she was barely out of her teens herself. But the internet does not do nuance. It never has. It picks a villain, and it drags them until they break. And that is exactly what happened. Skai was shredded online. Instead of support, she got humiliation. Instead of understanding, she got mockery. People said she brought it on herself. They forgot she was a victim, and turned her pain into performance. But when you zoomed out, when you saw the full picture, the truth was horrifying. A 16-year-old had just committed one of the cruelest digital violations imaginable, and the world treated it like trending gossip. Like a meme. Skai's career, once a symbol of promise and independence, collapsed under the weight of that scandal. She had been climbing, a respected young actress, a voice for her generation. But suddenly, she was defined by something she never chose. Something stolen. And Jules? He walked away almost untouched. A few angry tweets. A few judgmental comments. And then, silence. The same silence that protects the guilty and punishes the ones left bleeding. People forget what Skai represented. She was one of the youngest black actresses to build her brand from scratch, outspoken, confident, unafraid to speak her truth. But that very confidence made her a target. The internet loves to tear down women who refuse to be quiet, and when that woman is young, successful, and black, the cruelty multiplies. So when the scandal hit, it became open season. They said she was too grown. They said she was messy. They said she should have known better. But almost no one asked the real question: why did a teenage boy think it was acceptable to destroy someone's privacy just because his ego was bruised? Behind the noise, the hashtags, the gossip blogs, there was a girl who was broken. Sources close to her said she was devastated, barely speaking, barely eating. She did not rush online to clear her name because, how could she? How do you defend yourself against humiliation that personal? So she went silent. No statements. No videos. No explanations. Just silence. For months, she stayed low-key, posting less, avoiding interviews. But in that quiet, the internet filled the gaps with lies. They said she was hiding because she was guilty. They said she was ashamed. But in reality, she was just trying to survive a storm she never asked for. While Skai was trying to hold her shattered world together, Jules moved like nothing had happened. He was out there, smiling, posting, making TikToks, acting like the entire world had not just watched him commit one of the cruelest betrayals imaginable. And that silence from everyone around him? That was deafening. People started asking the question no one wanted to face: where were the adults? This was Beyoncé's nephew. A kid with connections, with privilege, who had done something illegal, something that should have had serious consequences, and yet the world treated it like teen drama. Like it was some high school breakup that went a little too far. But if the roles had been reversed? If a 19-year-old man had leaked a 16-year-old girl's video? The outrage would have been nuclear. People would have demanded justice. But because it was Skai, because she was young, black, and a woman, empathy suddenly went missing. Through all the chaos, Skai tried to rebuild herself. Quietly. Carefully. Piece by piece. She focused on work, on peace, on staying sane in a world that refused to forget her worst moment. She deleted comments, turned off replies, set boundaries. She did not owe anyone an explanation, but the internet kept demanding one anyway. Every time she posted, the ghosts of that scandal came crawling back. Where's Jules? Did you really do it? You're too old for him. It never stopped. It was like the internet had chained her to her past, refusing to let her heal. Eventually, Skai found someone new. Reports said she started dating York, a clean slate, a fresh start, someone outside the storm. But the shadow of that old scandal followed her like a curse. Because that is how the internet works. Once it brands you, it never lets go. Years could pass, careers could change, lives could evolve, but all it takes is one tweet, one comment, one throwback post, and the entire past comes crashing back like it never left. And that is what makes this story so tragic, not just Skai's story, but what it says about us. About the culture we have built. About how we consume other people's pain like content. How we laugh at trauma and call it tea. A teenage boy used social media as a weapon, and the world rewarded him with views. A young woman had her privacy destroyed, and the world punished her. That is the hypocrisy no one wants to admit. Skai was barely 20. Still learning, still growing, still figuring out who she was, but people treated her like she should have had the wisdom of a 40-year-old. They forgot that she was human. They forgot that she was young. And they forgot that her mistakes did not deserve to be broadcast to millions. Because when you really look at it, this was not just celebrity gossip. It was a mirror. A brutal reflection of what the internet has become, a place that confuses cruelty with entertainment. But through it all, the silence, the humiliation, the endless judgment, Skai did something powerful. She endured. She rebuilt. She turned her pain into purpose. She started speaking, subtly, about boundaries, about self-worth, about protecting your peace online. She became an advocate for mental health and privacy, using her own scars to teach others what survival looks like. She never mentioned Jules by name again, but everyone knew. When she said, "People will try to destroy you when they can't control you," the internet felt that. Deeply. Because that was her truth. Her quiet revenge. Her rebirth. Even now, years later, her story remains one of the most haunting cautionary tales of the digital age, a brutal reminder of how quickly fame can turn fatal, how easily privacy can be weaponized, and how fast the internet can turn on you. Skai's story is not just a headline, it is a warning. A mirror held up to a culture that thrives on other people's humiliation. Because behind every viral scandal is a real person, sitting in silence, trying to survive something that no apology or hashtag can ever undo. But just when things started to feel stable again, chaos came knocking. Because now, she is rumored to be with NBA YoungBoy. And listen, I am not here to speak on him as a father. But as a partner? Skai better run. Run and never look back. Because this man's love life is a web of chaos, drama, and danger. And the crazy part? It is not even his wife, Jaslyn, that Skai needs to be afraid of. If the rumors are true, the real danger is Yaya Mayweather. And everyone online knows that Yaya does not play about NBA YoungBoy. That is, her man, even though he is married to someone else. It is a mess, a full-blown soap opera. But the thing about Yaya? She takes that possessiveness to a whole other level. She has been known to throw hands, literally, for this man. And Skai? She does not want that smoke. To make things worse, YoungBoy still seems tied to Yaya. Emotionally. Physically. Maybe even spiritually. She has his face tattooed across her skin. He gifted her a Lamborghini truck for her 25th birthday just weeks ago. And the internet has receipts. Screenshots. Videos. Everything. Yaya has even gone as far as threatening not only YoungBoy's wife, Jaslyn, but Jaslyn's mother. This is not just relationship drama, this is warfare. So here is the truth, Skai is standing at a crossroads again. One path leads back into the chaos, the scandals, the headlines. The other? Peace. Healing. Silence. Because if she keeps walking down this road, she will not just need love, she will need bodyguards. Maybe even self-defense classes. Because when you play in YoungBoy's world, heartbreak is not the only thing you risk. You risk everything. But just like that, Skai Jackson was back in the center of the storm. From the explosive scandal with Jules Smith that shattered her reputation, to the unhinged threats from her baby daddy over the NBA YoungBoy chaos, it is like every time she tries to climb out of the fire, another match gets lit. Now, receipts are flying left and right. Voice notes, screenshots, cryptic